Hello my dear friends, and welcome back to another Star Wars news update. The Bad Batch Season 2 is just under 3 months away, and while everyone's focused on Andor and Tales of the Jedi, doesn't mean we're any less hyped for the return of Clone Force 99. In light of their big return for more adventures, a new look at the batch, Echo, Hunter, Omega, Tech and Wrecker has dropped. And as Lama Su would say, magnificent, aren't they? Outside of the trailer and a couple of posters, this is really our first proper look at what Omega's gonna look like in the second season, and we see the rest of the batch sans Crosshair of course, in their new orange armour. Omega in particular looks way more mature, and timeline-wise, about 6 months have passed, and she's probably learnt a lot in that time. This new poster was spotted on Shop Trends, and is one of several promotionals that are gonna be released over the next couple of months, in the build-up to Christmas, and on January the 4th, the second season. And in addition to this guys, we have new character summaries as well, which have been released to preview Season 2. Let's go through these now. So they start with Echo, and they say, this season he's sporting a bright orange and white chest plate. His cybernetic arm is still visible, as is his brown camo, a relic of his ARC Trooper past. Since Echo is technically half machine, it's going to be interesting to see how that plays into him being an asset for Clone Force 99, as they continue into this new era driven by the Imperial machine. Next up, for Hunter they say, the leader of Clone Force 99, he swapped out his helmet's decorative red pattern for orange, with a Han Solo style belt and holster. Hunter went through a significant arc in Season 1, as he and the rest of the batch dealt with their loss of purpose, his conflict with Crosshair, various moral quandaries, and becoming a father figure to Omega. But Hunter's biggest test may still await him, as Omega continues to grow up and test her own limits amidst a galaxy that's growing more dangerous. And speaking of Omega, or as I like to call her, Omega, the female addition to the group appears to have changed the most. Not only is she a little bit older, her hair is longer, and she's abandoned her Kaminoan fashion for something more utilitarian. During the latter half of the Bad Batch's first season, Omega's identity made her a target. Even though she's back with her brothers, she may still be a target in Season 2. We don't know what Admiral Rampart and others have in mind, and Nala Se, who now works at an Imperial cloning facility on Mount Tantis, might demand that they find her. After all, Omega was her assistant for many years, but between the first and second season, in that 6-month time period, Omega had a lot of time to practice with her energy bow. And as is teased in the Season 2 trailer, she's a lot more proficient with it. Audiences are likely going to see her take a more active role in future episodes, and that is super exciting. Moving on to Tech, they say the squad computer and communication specialist has not changed too much, but hopefully Season 2 will challenge him in ways that bring out his own humanity and his own fatherhood as a parental figure to Omega. They're all her brothers, but they each play a parental role that's unique and distinct, and Tech is no exception. In one of the scenes shown at Star Wars Celebration, he's even shown mentoring her on the various Imperial ships, knowing how to identify them, developing her survival skills. And finally, of Wrecker, the teddy bear of the group, the one with the biggest heart, they say the following: the heart and muscle of the team. Wrecker's design has always been unique, especially his helmet. While that thankfully survived the team's makeover, this poster shows him sporting a pauldron that looks bright yellow instead of orange. And while Hunter and Omega are close, Wrecker and Omega share a very tight sibling bond, one that's going to further in the second season. But it would be interesting to see Wrecker take on a different role in Season 2 than that of just the muscle of the group. And I'm sure as we get closer to Season 2, we're also going to get posters of Crosshair, and maybe even Commander Cody. For the first half of Season 2, Crosshair and Cody are allies. So that, my dear Mandalorians, is pretty much the Bad Batch section of the video, and now we have some amazing news for the Mandalorian Season 3. Names for the upcoming 2023 Mando Season 3 LEGO sets have been unveiled, and they reveal something huge about what we can expect in the show itself. What's interesting is that they're coming in May 2023, which kind of furthers the theory that Mando is not going to be released in February, but at Star Wars Celebration in April, meaning the LEGO sets release a month later, and the context for them is known. So the first set announced is a pirate snub fighter. We know pirates are going to play a huge role on Nevarro, and this set is $34.99, but the one that's of interest is a Mandalorian fang fighter versus a TIE interceptor. Now this is huge. If you think back to last year, my exclusive scoop, which I reported on is that Favreau from Star Wars Rebels is going to appear in the third season in live action. My source said that they saw Kevin McKidd on set. He of course voiced the character in Star Wars Rebels, and now we have a Mandalorian fang fighter being released for season 3. And just to let you know, it was the starship of choice for the protectors of Concord Dawn, of which Favreau was a part of, and we know he survived Star Wars Rebels and is very likely to come into this season, so this is really huge. The databank on StarWars.com even mentions it and says, quote, "The starship of choice for the Mandalorian protectors of Concord Dawn, the Mandalorian fang fighter, was a formidable craft. It was tailor-made for combat, featuring wing-mounted laser cannons and a hidden proton torpedo port." So I'm really happy if we do see him. My scoop might come true. And staying on the subject of The Mandalorian Season 3, we move on to a new tease by Giancarlo Esposito. Both he and Carl Weathers seem very eager for the third season, and have both been responsible for keeping the hype levels raised for the next installment of the show. Well, in a new tweet, the Moff Gideon actor quoted his villain from the Season 1 finale, "If you're asking if you can trust me, you cannot." He then puts forward a question to his followers: what are you most looking forward to for season 3? A fantastic question, and I hope you guys are going to comment your thoughts down below. What is the one thing you're most looking forward to in season 3? For me, it could be a range of things: the return of various Mandalorian clans, the animosity between Bo-Katan and Din, how Moff Gideon's going to escape prison, and more adventures with our heroes. And of course, hopefully some more Bill Burr. But if I were to highlight one particular aspect, it'd be Grogu's story going forward, if it's done well. And the reason I say that, the reason I word it that way, is that considering the rumours and plot leaks, I can't think of many options in the third season where Grogu isn't just a cute MacGuffin, instead of being a meaningful character in his own right. I think he was handled amazingly in season 2, but the reunion with Din in the Book of Boba Fett was a bit too premature in my opinion, putting Favreau and Filoni in a weird spot for the third season. In a season that's poised to be focused on the Darksaber and be Mandalore-centric, I don't see how a Grogu story can progress in that light. We know a little bit about using IG-11 rebuilt as a mecha, but even if Grogu does come to terms with being a Force-sensitive Mandalorian foundling, I'm just worried it's going to feel like he's a tag-along character. So why did I say that this is what I'm most looking forward to? Because Favreau is amazing at proving us wrong and putting all our worries at ease, so I'm super hyped for what he has in store for our little green guy. Among all of its amazing qualities, if the Mandalorian is good at one thing, it's pulling out surprises. Now, I would go further regarding Grogu speculation, but I run the risk of talking about leaks, and I don't want to go there in this video. So we'll return to Mando a different time. But now, my dear Mandalorians, some very exciting news about Jedi Survivor. Insider Jeff Grubb, whose video game scoops are usually right on the money, has said that EA is going to start talking about Survivor in December. He says there are currently no issues with development, and it was always the plan to have a short window to promote it. It's still on track for a March release. This is huge, because come the new year, we're probably going to get the final trailer and an exclusive gameplay teaser, just as we did for Fallen Order. The Jedi sub-franchise really is Lucasfilm and EA's golden goose, the Mandalorian of the Star Wars gaming world, if you will. Jedi Fallen Order was almost unanimously adored, and the sequel is so highly anticipated. So we had some very juicy updates in today's video. If you enjoyed it, guys, please be sure to give me a big fat thumbs up. It really helps out with the channel. Subscribe if you're new, and if you want more videos, streams, and so on that you can't find here on YouTube, then click the link in the description. I appreciate you so much for watching this video. May the Force be with you always. I'm Star Wars Meg. Have a good one.